Hey everyone, I hope you're well. In this video, I figure I'd talk about really what the cost of living is and how much we spend on a monthly basis living in Michigan, mortgage-free, debt-free. And I know I did a video like this about a year ago, but now that we have an addition to the family, we have a son, things have changed a little bit. Yes, they've gotten a little bit more expensive, but that's all right. We're gonna talk about and break down everything that we're spending here. I figured this might be interesting too, just because when I was looking to become debt-free, mortgage-free, I always found interest in these types of videos. And I didn't really see any videos of people talking about like living mortgage-free, what that's like. So I'll talk a little bit more about why we chose Michigan at the end of this video. But let's dive into our expenses. So I'm gonna start with our essential expenses, things that we have to pay every single month to kind of live, and then go into like non-essential expenses like food, entertainment, and things like that. And so most of you know that Grace and I, my wife, we moved from the West Coast to Michigan, the Midwest. And so this might be interesting to see kind of like and compare with your own finances. Let me know how things differ for you guys. Let me know in the comments. But let's start out with property tax and home insurance. And this is for all you Karens out there who say, oh, Jeremy, you're mortgage free, but you still got the property taxes. You don't really own the house, yada, yada. Okay, this is for you. I'm gonna open up and share with you because it's not that much, at least out here in Michigan. Property taxes are not as high compared to, the other states out there. So my property taxes, because there's a winter and then there's a summer bill. If I take the average 12 months, I'm only paying $95 to live in our small A-frame house here on this side. $95 a month. I don't think that's bad, right? So it's like I have to come up with $100 a month to make sure that I don't get kicked out of my house. I'm okay with that. Just keep in mind we're living in a 1,000 square foot home, 3-bedroom, 1 bath, and so our home insurance is actually $36 a month. Now I've actually never owned a home until now, so it's like I'm not sure if that's good. I think that's pretty good, but I don't know how comparable it is, with you, what your home is like. We don't have any HOA fee or anything like that, so that's something that I made sure that we didn't have, or I don't want to buy something and then have to pay, a maintenance fee. I can maintain my house, or I'd rather outsource it myself if I need to maintain my home and take care of that. Next on the list we have is internet. It's $50. I think that's comparable. It's pretty comparable to what I was paying on the West Coast. Next on the list is our cell phones. So I pay for 2 phones for my wife and I. We have iPhone 11s. We don't really upgrade every single year. And so that actually keeps the cost pretty low. We're at $55 a month for both of us. And we're with T-Mobile. And because we're like in the suburbs of Michigan, T-Mobile is pretty good. It's decent out here. Really no complaints, especially because we're on Wi-Fi at home anyway. So it's like, we pretty much have good internet wherever we're at. Now for water, trash, and sewer, that's actually all on one bill. And that has gone up a little bit, due to inflation and things like that. But it's actually comparable to living on the West Coast, or at least for me when I was living in an apartment. We pay every 3 months, but if we average it out, it comes out to about $80 to $90 a month, which is great. I'm happy with that. And for electric and gas, that's the one that kind of varies. And it actually comes on one bill for us every single month. So right now our bill is a little high because it is winter. So the highest we paid, I believe, was like $230. But that really goes down like during the spring and the fall. It's like $80 to $100. And in the summer, it is about $150 because we do run the AC. So for a small house, 1,000 square feet, I guess for the heating bill, that's a little high. But at the same time, our prices did increase too due to inflation in our area. I think that's happening just everywhere. So for groceries and home supplies, like, toilet paper or detergent and things like that, typically we keep it under $600. So our food bill, we do our best to keep it at $400. But right now, as you guys know, just everything is just going up. It's insane. But typically we're at $500 to $600 for both of those categories. And that doesn't even include like baby food and like baby supplies. Right now we're at between $200 to $300. I mean, I just bought a stroller for our son. He's growing up. He just outgrew the Duna or Dona. I don't even know. I don't know. Pun intended. So we just bought another stroller and it was like $500, but we're trying to future-proof ourselves because this one apparently, if we have another kid, which we might have another kid, we just add another piece to it and it's a stroller for 2. Next on the list is our cars. We actually have no car payment, but we do pay for insurance for 2 cars, one for my wife and I, and we pay $134 a month. We have a great driving record, no accidents, no tickets or anything like that. Man, I used to speed back in my day a lot. I don't know why. I don't feel like going 10 miles over. I don't know. Either way, that's off the record now. And I'm just such an old, slow driver. Man, I just turned 30 yesterday, so I feel like, man, I don't feel old, but it's like I'm getting old. Either way, insurance is low, and typically Michigan has higher insurance rates compared to the rest of the country. But because we went through a broker and they just tried to find the best deal for us, I think that was just the right way to go, because Progressive and Geico typically is more expensive here than when I went through a broker and they found another company for us. So I'm okay paying that. And I think it's really good insurance. Like, we're the top coverage. If anything happens, it covers our medical and things like that. And will, I guess, like, pay for us. Like, if we get hurt and I can't work or something like that, it will just continue to pay me monthly. And so I think that's why Michigan's insurance is typically higher, because it's better. So gasoline, man, literally it was 10 cents cheaper yesterday. It jumped up to $3.79. It was $3.69, but it's going up everywhere. I just came back from a road trip from California, and it was like $6.50, and this was like in January, so I imagine it's probably like $7 now or something like that, right? So it is like half, right, compared to the West Coast, but still like $3.79 out here. I mean, I'm used to seeing like $2.50 around there, and yeah, gas prices are getting insane. So we spent about $100 to $150 in gas. So health insurance, we purchase our health insurance through the marketplace. Our plans have changed now that we have a family of 3, and so we pay $100 a month for my family, and we're on a high deductible plan. And life insurance is also really important too. I mean, because if something happens to me, I want my wife and my son to be taken care of. So we pay $56 a month for that. So the total of our essential expenses come out to about $1,800 a month. So yeah, well under $2,000 a month to live, right, and make sure everybody's fed. We have shelter, gas, utilities, everything's covered like that. So under $2,000 a month here in Michigan, living mortgage free. So let's move on to the non-essentials, things that we spend, just based on our lifestyle. Let's start with eating out. Now, I'd say like eating out compared to the West Coast and like the bigger cities, I'd say it's actually a little bit cheaper. Out here in Michigan, there's really not that much competition, not just for food, but for a lot of things. And so, plus I feel like they have to kind of make up, because in the winter seasons, people are not really going out as much, so it really slows down. So maybe that's why prices are a little more. Plus also, we're in this crazy time that we're in, so prices probably just went up as well. I moved here right kind of when things were happening about a couple years ago. So for us, we're spending about $300 a month on food. And like I said, that really slows down during the winter as we're inside more, and then the peak, goes up in the summer because everybody's out. There's a lot of lakes around here. Everybody gets in their RV and they just kind of head up north, hang out in the lakes, relax with their family. So that's something I really like. Like, people really like getting outdoors, and they take full advantage of it when it's the spring and summer. Next up, we got entertainment. Now for us, really, that's not very much. It's only $20 a month. That includes like Netflix and a couple movies that we decide to rent. We don't drink or anything like that. So typically our entertainment is really kind of like eating out, right? Fellowshipping with our friends and our community and our church. And so that's really kind of our entertainment, just hanging out with people. So we don't really spend much on entertainment. Next up is shopping. Now my wife really takes the reign on this. I don't really buy anything. When I do, I guess I do buy quality, and I do, I guess, buy more expensive than she does. But I mean, she's constantly thrifting and finding stuff for, our son as he's constantly growing, or for herself. I feel like it's mainly for herself though, most of the time. She does tell me that's for my son, but I don't even know. I don't know what she buys. But typically I just see it, and it's about $100 a month. And that doesn't just include like shopping for clothes or anything like that. But I mean, my son has his first birthday coming up, and so we're buying stuff for that as well. Next up is our gym membership. Now I'm thinking about moving this up to essentials, because I mean, it's starting to become more of a daily thing for us, especially for my wife. I'm starting to be more consistent, going to 1 or 2 days. She's going like 3 to 4. And so I think it's just really valuable. But at the end of the day, if something was to happen, like, we would definitely cut it. I mean, because we can work out and go for walks and work out at home and things like that. But as far as like, I've never had a YMCA membership, and I think it's great. I mean, they got the works, basketball courts, and like a couple gyms, and just like everything you would ever need. You should definitely check out a family plan for the YMCA. They got like pools too for the kids and stuff like that. So I think that's going to be big, and it's going to come in clutch when when our son starts walking and things like that. We need to take him places to go and hang out. I think that'll be cost effective as well, but just also just like really healthy for the family. Next on the list is my haircut. about 25 bucks a month for that. Ah man, that should be up in the essential category. You know what I mean? Sometimes you gotta feel good, you gotta look good to feel good. So yeah, that's super important to us. And the last non-essentials is kind of like a miscellaneous category where things just come up. You know what I mean? Things just come up and things that you need at the time. And we just spend about $100 a month. Now for the grand total of what we spend between essentials and non-essentials, living mortgage-free in Michigan, it comes out to $2,200 to $2,500 a month for us. Now, honestly, I'm okay with that. And let me know what you think as far as like, is that more than you expected? Is that less than you expected? Living down in Michigan, or just living mortgage-free, debt-free? I'm curious to know your thoughts. At the end of the day though, the main reason why my wife and I chose Michigan is because of the community that we had met here when we were traveling around the US, and the peace that we had here. People out here, I feel like they really do value their family. At least where I'm at, I feel like there's people out here that they play board games and they just sit around a fire and they just enjoy the little things like that. And I really appreciate that. In Oregon or in the West Coast in the city, you know what I mean? It's just always, there's like Disneyland and like all these attractions and eating out and like so much hiking to do, which is great too. But I noticed out here, it's just a little bit slower pace. And so it's definitely a nice change. And I feel like there's just more opportunity out here as far as like, you know, with businesses, people can start a business out here and I feel like they could kill it because there's a lot of people out here that just have business because there's no other competition and they can charge what they want. Another thing is affordability. Like just housing is just a lot more affordable out here. And people, I feel like, write off Michigan, right? Because they think about Detroit or they think about Flint, right? Really dangerous cities. But those are just a couple cities throughout the entire state. And so it's like, I feel like people write off Michigan as a whole and don't even travel and check it out because of those two cities. I live about 2 hours from Detroit, about an hour from Flint, and I live in a really safe place. I live in a safe place that I feel comfortable having children around. I mean, there's children around on my block. And I think I really appreciate that about my wife is that, you know, she has an open mind and that she's able to check out different places. She doesn't judge a book by its cover. And I do my best to live that way too, right? Just not assume and make assumptions about a place without really kind of experiencing it. But that's why we chose Michigan. I hope this video was interesting or helpful. Please leave a like if it was, and I'll see you in the next video.